Hello, my friends, and welcome back to this episode of Suzerain. We are on the precipice of war, which is really exciting. So we're going to see how this goes. Right, we've got some reports to read. So Secret Intelligence Hub commences operation. Brilliant. And Prime Minister Sultana calls emergency MIT's board meeting. Ooh, the world's getting ready for war, and we're going to be leading it. Fort Drazen. New city info, so it's Romus Taurus Hospital, Romus Taurus University, yeah. And that gave us a load of bits, didn't it? Rule decrees enacted. I don't remember what they do for us. So 50 million manpower per term per occupation. University, 250 military equipment, okay. Right, new bilateral agreement discussions with Welland. Ooh. Where's Lord? I need Lord here. Lord, are you here? And a massive thank you for everyone who's been here. Wow, we have so many people in today. Good, I've been playing... Oh, Hogwarts Legacy. Nice. What have you been thinking of Hogwarts Legacy, my friend? How's it been? New bilateral agreement. Meet the Smollett, President of Welland, had finally agreed to meet with me after several months of silence. Just ahead of my meeting with him, I convened with my council for a briefing. Thank you all for joining us here. He looks around the table at Ina, Lorento, Lucita, Elena, Sal, and Titus. The gang's here. Lorento, as you have the latest information from Welland's foreign ministry, would you like to begin? What can His Majesty expect today? Lorento stood up. He paced back and forth energetically as he spoke. We're in uncharted territory, Your Grace. President Smollett's invocation of the threat mitigation protocol has been challenged, but the AN failed to meet a consensus. Essentially, he's in a position to hold Zeal hostage until his demands are met. And indeed, the new handover plan his ministers now proposing has a 3-year timeline attached to it. 3 years, there can't be standard procedure. I trusted you, Mr. Scribble. You couldn't do any better than that. 3 years is nothing in the grand scheme of my lengthy reign. I'm willing to wait. That's how long it takes to be done properly. I'm with it. 3 years. Can't be standard procedure, can it? As I said, this is an unprecedented situation. I believe the AIM is satisfied that President Smollett set a new deadline at all. And what makes us think this one will be met when the last one was not? Anger danced in Lucita's eyes. She gestured at the rest of the table. And this is our territory. Why are we not setting the agenda? I'm surprised the international community did not challenge an oppressive man like President Smollett. The others looked at her in mild surprise. What of the people living in Zeal? Has anyone asked them how they feel about an extra 3 years of Wesek rule? My treasurer smiled wistfully. We may still have the opportunity to set the agenda. Any agreement Welland proposes is bound to have an economic aspect. And considering the dire straits Welland is in the rest of the world, President Smollett might be about to offer us the deal of our lives. Correct as usual, dear. Lorento opened his notebook. Remind you all that Welland is under partial sanctions by most of the West. The one commodity they have been trading freely is oil, but the embargo we agreed with Rumburg has been slowing that down. The presence of the Ariana Taurus Association in Zeal has helped sway public sentiment to our side. Lord, yes, you're here! Chase! Woohoo, my friends! Welcome in, legends! Thank you all for being here. Let's do more like you. Sorry, gentlemen, please continue. Our investigators are cooperating with Welland Intelligence, which will make it more difficult for President Smollett to claim we are uninterested in the region's security. Yeah, I don't know why that takes so long. That's really annoying. Even so, we should handle this meeting with delicacy. Any aggression on our part can be used against us. So delicacy, Welland's never been delicate with us. We're prepared to give President Smollett everything he asked for. Delicacy is one thing, submission is another. We must be careful what we promise. Very true, Your Majesty. At some point, it may become necessary to call Welland's bluff. I know this much, Your Grace. Unless concessions are made, it will take years, if not decades, to get Zeal back. Smollett does so. Welland trade deal is funny. I can't wait for you to help me guide this. I will take guidance as I've learned the game is updating on the 7th, my friends. Today is the 3rd. We need to get through this quick. I give you the perfect deal. Thank you, my friend. Any questions thus far, Your Majesty? Captain Gordian wants to say of internal investigation. And Miss Warner, what resource we would bargain with? What relations with the richest person Welland can impact on negotiations. And that's they will do something on the 7th of May. A small war is coming. Ooh, oh, there's wars coming. Don't you worry about that. We're going to war. Captain Gordian, what does it say of internal investigation? Thank you, sir. We know certain individuals on I don't know why I'm doing this voice in. At Suamina's fringes have planned and carried out isolated acts of violence. But there is nothing connecting them to the group's more high-profile members or supporters, Duke Rico Taurus, for example. And a set of fingerprints sent by Well Intelligence did not match any of the members we have on file. But surely their involvement in the Zeal incident can be ruled out yet. Ruled out then? Not yet, sir. These people are better organised than they seem at first glance. They may well be hiding something. I see. Carry on then. Ms. Werner, which resources were we able to bargain with? Not that it will be released on that day, but what else could it be? What time for a message to pop up? Really? Ms. Werner, which resources were we able to bargain with? A good question, Your Majesty. Gold production sold since latest regulations were implemented. They're still an option. We're getting pails, beating them up. Although if you follow through with your support of Morella and its crusade for control of the Malfheim, one of our most lucrative sources may soon be off limits. The regulations have also dented our small arms industry, but we can offer data rifles. And despite our deal with the swords, we have a small wine surplus we can sell or trade. We didn't drink it all in Qualis. It only felt like we did. Vina grimaced a reminder while the other councillors chuckled. If we can manage to free up the natural gas in the Aureus field in time, whatever we don't sell to Romberg will be a tradable asset. But a country as rich in oil as Wellen won't need as much of it. If all else fails, we have a healthy budget, but I'd rather not pay Wellen what amounts to ransom money. Why is many nations do you have any religious affairs in Wellington impact on negotiations? It very well may, Your Majesty. South frowned pensively. Our neighbour has long followed the path of dusnority, and I do not fault them for it. But in the hands of the current regime, that religion has become a cudgel with which to persecute Welland's Golcondist minority. The Bloods, you mean? Well, we are prosecuting Golcondists as well, they're bad from our holy side. The Bloods, Golcondism, same as practice in Dadia. There are few divergences, mostly regarding the use of violence against an opponent who has not directly provoked you. Bludish Golcondist scriptures forbids this, though the definition of provoked is often stretched. The Durdians allow it when their supreme wiseman has deemed that it is for the greater good. No surprises there. Lance, I didn't think anyone told you. It's mentioned briefly when some Swedish ambassador visit is pronounced. Halle. Oh, fair enough. I'll call it Pales. Pale Ale. No surprises there. Here goes only word from the House of Delegates on this. They have met about it, Your Majesty. The majority's consensus was that the timelines of the Zeal handover should take a backseat to protecting Rizian interests. Conceding too much to Welland too quickly will earn you the ire of Baroness Darava and her party. The opposition, meanwhile, is much more amenable to compromise, particularly those party members from Brennus. That makes sense. They've been missing a piece of their province for long enough already. With all due respect, Your Highness, the Sazan lost the right to call Zeal theirs when the former Duke of Rizia committed his act of treachery. Yeah. They cannot seriously expect that it will be reincorporated into Brennus as if nothing happened. And why not? We took Isa from them. How much more punishment does our house need to endure? Lucia looked askance at her. I do hope you're not letting emotions cloud your judgment, Your Highness. For what it's worth, I agree with the princess, not only because of a number of historic squibble estates located in Zeal. Oh, what doesn't matter. Same goes for Convo, Mr. Funny Guy. Oh, really? What fallout can we expect to come to agreement? Lorento looked down. I highly doubt there's a full deal will be reached today, only beginnings of one. His Majesty question stands, do we have a contingency plan? Well, Duchess, if our negotiations fall through and international pressure is insufficient to force Welland back into the table, then the responsibility will fall on Zeal itself. Lucia flashed him a skeptical look. By the way, did you get the Riz event? I'm not sure. Which means what exactly, Mr. Squibble? If the majority of Zeal's citizens believe the majority of Zeal's citizens believe the territory should belong to Rizia, the Wessex government cannot simply ignore them, especially if we gather external support. They can and they will. No state peacefully gives power away. That's true, we're a monarchy, supporting any kind of people's movement. horribly. The majority, I thought opinion was divided. Doesn't have to be peaceful to be possible. Opinion was divided. President Smolak's announcement has already put many undecided citizens into the pro-Rizian column, and we have avenues to influence them further. The Zil branch of the ATA has already begun coordinating a Rizian-led reunification initiative in the wake of the AN announcement. With enough pressure from both inside and outside Zil, Wellen will have to give the region back, or at the very least hold a referendum. Zil doesn't need a referendum, Mr. Scribble. It needs resistance. It's cut off from Wessex mainland, divert enough funding and weapons to the right group so we can make an overthrow attempt happen without getting our hands dirty. My dear Duchess, you and your family must really learn that bloodshed isn't the answer to everything. Not sure about that. You know what will end in bloodshed? Telling our people in Zeal to rise against the government without giving them the means to defend themselves. Yeah, this is the only bad advice Lisa gives you. That doesn't sound great. Or for that matter, sending the message that all our powerful king is placed in stock in is the result of people's vote. I don't agree with that. I think we're in a good position to negotiate Zil's return without any of that. Yeah, cultural spending. I mean, the fact of it is that they're already on the line to give it back, and they're already trying to accuse us of planting that bomb, right? So we don't want to get involved with that, otherwise we're in big trouble. I think we're in a good position to negotiate Zil's return without any of that. I hope you're right. And as rude as I'm going to be, time to meet President Smolak. Very good, Your Majesty. He's expecting us in the downstairs diplomatic suite. Good luck, Father. I'm crossing my fingers for results. As am I. Elena, Hugo, and Vina left the room. Lucia seemed to be intentionally delaying her exit, her eyes locked onto mine. Titus and Arento stood by the door, waiting to escort me to the meeting. Zara, ooh. As the wine, you need to have her see the Pale's birthmark. Yeah, I did do that. Two. Duchess Zara, a quick moment of your time. Of course, Your Majesty. With a knowing grin, Lorenzo bowed and motioned for Titus to follow him into the hall. My boy Lorenzo, good moustache gun. Also, sorry, I'm so proud of this. My moustache has got long enough now that I can twirl it, and I'm tempted to rebuy wax to do it, because I'm on a week off now and I can do that here. Lucia snapped her attache case shut and turned to me. I'm sorry I haven't taken you on a date yet. That's two. Come on. Didn't kiss her, but we're getting closer. I didn't kiss her. I said, you're drunk. No, I'll kiss you properly when you're not drunk. And that's my personal opinion. I will never swear on that even again. Yeah, sorry I haven't taken you on that date yet. No need to apologise. In fact, I've been thinking. My advances towards you in Qualis were rather ill-advised. I'm afraid I overstepped the bounds of propriety. What do you mean? We're both married adult nobles. It would be perfectly acceptable for us to get together. I am entering my villain era. Much as I'd love to walk these chambers on with you, I'm afraid you're right. You didn't overstep any bounds. I found you kind of refreshing, and I still do. Ooh! Let me drink this water and figure out. 103. But villain moustaches look cool. They look cool. You're king with a cool moustache. One? Okay. I'll just take a one on this one. What do you mean? If I won your counselor, you'd be right. But people talk. On the council and beyond, I'd hate for anyone to think your national security decisions were influenced by our own personal intimacy. Perhaps it's best to keep this under wraps until my father is well enough to resume his position. A pragmatic, beautiful noblewoman. I should have married you ages ago. Oh! Oh my god, Dingbat. Dingbat, this is scandalous. Sorry. She's next to me, just down here, looking for cuddles. And she's too cute not to. Yeah, 3 is huge. She smiled enigmatically. I may still get the chance. In the meantime, here's something for luck. She had out a hand. It was a small wooden object. It was a chess piece, a queen. It appeared to be made of marble with gold details. I picked it up and took a closer look. There was a pair of crossed swords carved into it, the Azaro sigil. My uncles. The mutineers ransacked his country house after they killed him. They took the set, but this must have fallen out in the chaos. And his killers were brought to justice. I can't take this mod sentimental value for you. I'm sorry, Lucia. My father should have never let it come to that. Queen, the most valuable piece on the chessboard. I don't have time for games. What am I going to do with a chess piece? Yeah, we have gone from a cycle of advisors to his wingman. My advisors are my wingman. You're all around me. Well, King, we believe if you reply with this, she'll be riz. 4. A queen, the most valuable piece on the chessboard, that's fair. She's a versatile attacker and invaluable defender, all in the service of protecting her king. She took my hand and gave it a quick squeeze. Head to your meeting. We'll debrief later. I look forward to it. Thank you, Judge. I think this one's just up to you, really, isn't it? I look forward to it. Duchess Cesaro. Oh, doesn't matter, that's fair. Thank you, Duchess Cesaro. I slipped the chess piece into my pocket and stepped out into the hall to rejoin my bodyguard and foreign counselor. May I ask, Your Majesty? Oh, that's really funny. That 4? Are we happy with 4? That's really funny. So no time to explain. Let's go to the meeting. Confidential security matter. I'll discuss it with you later. You may not. May I ask if there's been any doodling? Oh no, that's quite funny. Okay, no time to explain. Let's get to the meeting. Fair. Lorenzo nodded. I didn't speak another word as Titus escorted us through the winding corridors to the first floor of diplomatic suite. Gentlemen, we got our king a date. No matter what, she will get him a girlfriend. Hail! Hail! I've got a cat, no matter what. Cat girl, technically. She's just sat next to me like a good little bean. Oh, good job on the way. She's just warm, bless her. Poor little kibby. Poor little kibby. Sorry, game. We left Titus standing guard outside the door and I walked in. President Smollett was in the sitting room, flipping through a copy of the Royal Herald. What makes him angry and embarrassed? That's fair enough. He stood up. He stood up and bowed to each of us. Your Majesty, Mr. Scribble, truly a pleasure to be here. The pleasure is mutual, Mr. President. Thank you for meeting me. President Smollett, I'm glad you finally found the time to meet with us. I wish I could say in the President was, I'm sorry we don't have carpets. That's tradition among your people. She better. Oh, you okay, Pete? You okay? Okay, she's kind of sprawled out. She's drinking enough, though. I've been watching her. She's just off. There, kitty. She's there. She below me. And I'm in shorts, by the way. Shorts, before anyone panics. Dead kitty. Just there. Just there. Thank you. Right. This convo is so long and besides the seat of flirt matters 0. Oh, really? Pleasure mutual. Well, I'm fine to meet you. I'm sorry we don't have carpets. I know that's tradition amongst your people. Don't be sorry. We're not among my people, are we? He set down the newspaper he'd been reading. You don't believe what they're saying about me in your paper, Your Majesty. Smollett's iron grip on zeal, enforced by dictatorial command rather than any real respect for international law or the rights of the local population, should be seen as a threat to us all. I can't control what the Rizian press say about you, nor will I control what it says about me. I believe the press is free, yes. That's indeed over the top, Mr. President. I'll ensure that my papers refrain from such slander in the future. 1 second, I'm going to grab a tissue to wipe my forehead because the crown is literally like a beam of sweat. Oh, I nearly stood on your toe. Oh, little baby. Oh, she's up and she's off. Oh. Oh, she wants to cuddle. Oh, word spoken. Oh my god. Nothing, just talk about all the options. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my goodness. I'm boiling. It's so hot. Wait. So, nothing, just talks about that. You can check by clicking on the news. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, where's news? Somewhere in here, isn't it? Oh no, I didn't read the press. Oh, fair enough. He's so cute, sorry. Hot lies the head that wears the crown. Literally! Yes, Robo! Yes, Jay! But don't say 2. That's fair. Indeed, it's over top. I'll keep him happy for now. I'm sure that my folks will refrain from such slander in the future. Relax, Your Majesty. You should read what my country's papers are saying about you. He laughed loudly. You see, you and I are not as different as you might like to believe. All due respect, we are. Being a king comes with challenges and pressures that ordinary residents can never understand. You're right, neither of us want occasion greed to spread across Macopa. That's true, Mr. President. Both of us only want best for our people. I'm sure we're able to come to an agreement with that in mind. Ooh. Hello, kitty. Hello, kitty. Sorry, king. Right, so basically lead through this however I want and then go through the options, make a decision with you in mind. That's for our people. Exactly, that's why I'm here today. I saw relief in Lorento's eyes. We're already beginning to find common ground. I'm optimistic for these negotiations. The removal should be ready by now. Shall we proceed? You gotta pamper Smollett like a baby and he still will try and mess you up, of course. He led us into a small room over, where a set of blue upholstered armchairs were arranged around a circular table. The three of us had a seat. A palace aide came by with water and coffee. Now that you're here, Mr. Smollett, can you explain in greater detail why you decided to postpone the Zeal handover? Smollett took a sip of water. He slowly wiped his moustache. It is simple, Mr. Squibble. Zeal is now home to several million citizens of Wesek origin. Under the terms of the treaty our predecessors signed, they were to have the rights to stay and work in the region. But the Zeal attack made it clear that those terms would not be respected. Without the protection of my government, I fear further violence will soon come to those who stay. What about the Rizians whose homes were destroyed by your civil war? You don't seem to care about the safety. The violence you mentioned is the responsibility of a select few individuals. They're being dealt with. I don't understand. I and my kingdom have been nothing but cooperative in the wake of the Zeal incident. Translation, I'm an absolute jerk and I want to keep Zeal. Please, just tell me, what can I do to reassure you of your citizens' safety? I do not take issue with your response to the incident, Your Majesty, but your current military actions toward Pales reveals your kingdom's willingness to put petty territorial concerns above the welfare of its own people. I am also worried about your continued partnership with Rumberg, of course. I cannot simply hand these people's lives over to the friend of my enemy. Whatever you believe Rumberg has done or is doing, Rizia had absolutely no part in it. Watch me giving him the most funny trade deal in history ever, Elfgard. I understand. We will make a special effort to integrate all Wessex who wish to stay. Well is our direct neighbour and our historical ally. We'll always prioritize Rumberg. No. I understand. We'll make a special effort to integrate all Wessex who wish to stay. Lorenzo nodded. Rizia takes Welland's concerns very seriously. We are ready to take all available measures to ensure the security of your people once the region is back in Rizia's hands. That's comforting to know, Mr. Squibble. President Smollett smiled just a little too widely. My ministers and I agree that before Zeal is reintegrated into Rizia, a good faith effort must be made to strengthen the bond between our countries. We've therefore drafted an amendment to the original treaty. Serious measures meant to renew our old friendship. Here it comes. This friendship helps Williams bypass certain trade sanctions, so much the better. I agree with mutual position to be a friendly military alliance. Concerned about Rizia's national attack on Wessex citizens, I warn you that such measures will only make them more angry. Fortunately, economic ties can benefit both our nations. They would indeed. After all, how well can Rumberg look after you when you're so far away from each other? Lorenzo pulled a folder out of his briefcase and opened it on the table. Mr. President, we received the draft from your ministers, but the terms were extremely vague. You're asking for a trade deal, bilateral migration agreement, and a counter-terrorism cooperation pact? Tell me more about this trade deal, President Smollett. Very gladly, Your Majesty. As you may know, Welland has found itself with an oil surplus due to increasing demand from Rumberg and other monarchies. Meanwhile, we're worried about the impact of loss of Zeal will have on our economy. We'll need a way to stabilise our currency. We therefore propose a straightforward exchange of Wessex oil for Rizian gold. What I am sure you'll agree is a very favourable rate. 6 barrels for every ounce. To be exact. That's ridiculous. It isn't favourable at all. What makes you think that Rizia is in the market for Wessex oil, President Smollett? Everyone in the market is in the market for oil. There's a reason they call it black gold. Your kingdom may be about to come into a large amount of natural gas. Either way, your councillors will tell you about the importance of diversifying one's energy sources. Known for stability. How can you guarantee that you'll be reliable trading partner? You may be right, access to oil alongside natural gas grant us more flexibility, not to mention more options for trading with our neighbours. There's already all the energy needs, Mr. Pollard. With literally +1, we haven't got all the energy we need. We've got all the authority. We're doing great on authority. But money, of energy, even more. Right. What should we pick here, my friends? I'm going to let you guys decide as I say a massive thank you to everyone who's joined us. Mac, Jose, Red, Honor, Jace, Lord. Thank you all for being here, you absolute legends, for this amazing stream. Appreciate you all being here, my friends. Is there any recommendations, or just do what I wish to do, my friends? What's the thoughts? What's the thoughts? Red. Hello, YouTube. Just be nice. Fair enough. No stability. However, you may be right. Access to oil alongside natural gas will grant us more flexibility, not to mention more options for trade with our neighbours. Both of you are correct. Oil has uses that natural gas does not, and vice versa. Do whatever tickles your fancy. See, Your Majesty, your councillors are very wise. As for your gold, I know better than to question its quality. Hey, I have concerns about the consistency of your supply. Why? What are your concerns? Nonsense, Mr. President. Our mining output is as robust as it's ever been. Stakeholder in Rizia's Royal Mining Company, I have a vested interest in keeping gold production consistent. This guy will get that. Perhaps you do. Will you be able to keep Morella from nationalising the MITs and taking over your mines? President Smollett, please rest assured that we will not promise you an amount of gold we are unable to deliver. However, we have other commodities that we can offer instead, or in addition to gold. Would those be of interest? If the price is right, why not? I'm a flexible man. With a grin, he held his arms up and bent his wrist nearly all the way backwards. Lorenzo smiled patiently. I should tell you that Welland has other commodities too, Mr. Squibble. For instance, we're seeking to expand the market for morphine and other pharmaceutical products, not to mention Mercopa's finest tobacco. Our timber industry is also unparalleled in Mercopa. Your nobles might take a particular interest in our wood carvings. We need drugs from Welland. We have our own pharmaceutical companies. The Queen Mother spoke highly of Wessex tobacco. Wood carvings. Smaller, we are negotiating with legal return of territory and Huggins and Wessex Bazaar. Pardon me? The Queen Mother always spoke highly of Wessex tobacco. She's right, your mother. A puff of our quiche and a sip of your wine. Can't think of a more delightful combination. I know shops in Isa's little walklets water that sell quiche under the table. They can't restock it fast enough. You see, Welland is not only an oil country, just as Rizia is not only a gold one. There's plenty we can offer each other. Is the bilateral migration agreement what it sounds like? I believe so. We're asking for complete freedom of movement between Welland and Rizia. It is our wish that Wessex residing in this country enjoy the same rights as native-born Rizians. We've not been keeping abreast of my immigration policy, Mr. Wessex. Any Wessex citizens wishing the right to become nationalised as Rizian. He looked at me sternly. Oh, that might have been a bad choice. As a Rizian, do you wish for our own culture, language, and traditions to disappear? If we were highly regulated, the integration of Wessex into the Rizian workforce could be more benefit than a drawback. Lastly, Mr. Squibble, Rizians can't hold a candle to my people's work ethic. With that said, Mr. Smollett, you're not worried about a potential loss of skilled workers as Wessex seek higher compensation in Rizia? Of course, I've thought about that, but the trade agreement I've already proposed will help level out the economic disparities between our nations. I'll take more than a trade with Welland's damage. Welland's done a lot of untapped potential. With the right path of development, it could be restored to the glory days of the 1920s. We are a diamond in the rough, Your Majesty. Set us in gold, and we will shine. Interested to hear about this anti-terrorism pact. Ah, yes. Your Majesty, Mr. Squibble, how much do you know about the Bluish Freedom Front? The founding protest talk consults policies and soil and active in borders between the countries. The resistance group find the expression of Bluish people. The terrorism fights for freedom because of many innocent lives. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, goodness, Red. That's what this stream is. Very good, Your Majesty. They are not acting alone. Their so-called fight for peace is in reality a mass destabilization effort funded by the West. In fact, one of the BFF's biggest supporters is none other than your lovely sister-in-law. It's Operation Bear Trap. It's back! Literally. I hope you have concrete evidence to back up that accusation, Mr. President. I have no knowledge of what the Kingdom of Romberg does or doesn't do in Welland. Do not much ranks in Queen Beatrix presence. Well, maybe pardon, but I've trouble believing the BFF of Red Top and Children's are part of the Western Ned. I don't know what they do, basically. Then perhaps you should have Her Excellency to fill you in the next time you sit down for tea. President, I'm sorry, I need a drink. Ooh, President Smollett. I'm aware that the BFS has not gone completely inactive since the retirement of Tarquin Sol, but that they may in fact be gathering their strength. But you've not yet made it clear what you want from Rizia. Patience, Mr. Squibble. You may be aware that most Bloods are followers of the racist sect called Golkondism. Yes, the religious fanaticism makes them even more dangerous. So I hear, aren't they the largest Golkondis community outside of Derdia? Precisely. Remember, Lance, Swordland is in on this. Thanks to your last playthrough, so I recommend not taking part. Precisely, and in fact, Jorgul Asmor's country has been granting sanctuary even to the most notorious of Bludish criminals. My request is simple. All Wesek blood and Derdian citizens are to be turned away at the Rizian border. If Derdian and Bludish Golkondis is not compatible with Rizmi values that we agree on, Rizia is duty bound to welcome our fellow Rosis, even if they belong to a fringe sect. This is not about racism, it's about terrorists and those who support them. That may be so, Mr. Smollett, but the international community would see this as a religious ban. Were the ban limited to only those with Bludish identification documents, we would have a far easier time implementing it. Surely you understand. What I understand is that Bludish refugees have a fast track to Derdia's citizenship. By allowing Derdia passport holders into Rizia, you may as well be opening new doors to the BFF. I do understand your concerns, however, I'll be willing to leave Derdia out of our agreement if enough of our other conditions are met. Or which one will include Derdia in the agreement? Should I ask him? No need to go on. We'll find a compromise that allows us to keep Derdia out of the ban. What's he trying to do? Get Derdia involved? This how that DLC ends 1 year before the end of the base game. Oh, I didn't know that. That's annoying. I did not know that. What's the best one? Should we do all what? Or just don't need to hear another option? What do you think, Lord? And everyone else? Hear other option or don't need to? Because all what is quite rude. Doesn't matter, fair enough. I'll just do this one. I was only trying to be helpful, but very well. Loreno took one last glance at his folder and then looked at us both. I believe we covered everything, gentlemen. Everything. What about this 3-year timeline? Everything except for which these measures will have to be implemented. How? Like I said, the only deal in the end matters. Okay. Yes, well, that's still to be decided upon. Your Majesty, any agreement we make today will go into effect as soon as possible. The Zil handover will not. This is massive option talk. Okay. We are looking for a long-term partnership with Rizia. You cannot simply tear up this treaty as soon as you get what you want. We're still asking for a 3-year probationary period. If all is still well between Welland and Rizia by the end of the time, we're able to run Zeal with full confidence. Do not doubt on the kingdom's ability to deliver its promises. Certainly not, Your Majesty. This is a formality suggested by my ministers. I accidentally clicked an option. Whoops. Lorento finished jotting something down on his notepad. Thank you for your explanations, Mrs. Moloch. This has been very informative. Would you mind waiting in the sitting room while His Majesty and I decide on Rizia's half of the agreement? It would be my pleasure. It's more like I sit the room backwards, bang as he did so. Well, quite a lot to think about, Your Majesty. I have the draft documents right here, if you're ready. So the DLC ends the early... Wait. Ends early, the main ending of the base game will not have an effect on the DLC run. Oh, interesting. Perfect. Let's get to work. Think of everyone in Zeal, Your Majesty. You're doing this for them. He handed me the treaty amendment draft, and I began going through it. Okay. The Zeal agreement is being renegotiated to strengthen the economic, cultural, and political ties between the nations of Welland and Rizia. Welland wants to meet new certain conditions in the new comprehensive bilateral agreement. Import from Welland. Okay, so my negotiating power is like over here at the moment. Take all except opium. Tobacco, timber, furniture, and wood carvings, oil. Next, export to Wellen. Nothing. Ooh. Okay. Next. Oh, it actually increased. Jeez. Well, like, we'll take everything, give you nothing. Don't promise aid. Next. Do not implement a ban. I don't want to ban anyone. Don't promise. Don't ban. Do not next. Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant don't next. Sorry. What a next? Sorry, I'm so dumb. Where's this? Which one? Full equal rights for Wessex citizens. Grant Wessex the equal right to work. Movement. I don't really want to do freedom of movement though. That feels like a way for him to move his military through, to be honest. But it sounds like anyway. This should be much more in the red. Is that bad? I'm good at negotiating, sir. I'm doing very well. Take the opium as well. Oh. Okay. We're not in the red at all. Well, a little bit now. So we want to be in the red? I guess we just start off very strong. Let's go back. Okay. Take out opium. Yep. Give them nothing, don't promise aid. Do not implement ban. Oh, water! I finished this glass. But guess what? I prepared for this stream. I have another glass of water. And a cute kitten. Hello. Hello. Little bum bum cat. Oh, she's so cute. She's so cute. Hype. I don't really mind. It's whether you think we need it or not. But I feel pretty good. And then this finishes it, and we end up just take it. Oh, fair enough. But that puts us into it will be a funny deal. Okay. Let's go getting the fudge out of this trade deal right now. Yes. So, will it work even though we're in the negatives? Like, this will be okay? We're giving them nothing? Yes? Yes. So, finish. We're happy with this. So, we've basically done everything on our side of the thing and told him basically suck it up. Like, we've given him nothing. And somehow we've come out of this not too bad. Alright, we'll give you wine then. Like, that's it. Happy? Everyone's happy? You're happy, Lord? Everyone else happy? Sorry, I wanted advice on this part because I know this is kind of make or break game territory. Don't give him anything. Done. Are you sure about your decisions? Boom, 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 boom. Yes, let's do it. There are no note each decision I made with margins of documents. When he had finished going through everything, he sat back and raised an eyebrow. Very bold, Your Majesty. I hope Wellen will accept it. He asked an aide to call Smollett back into the room. President Wellen wiped Rosetta crumbs off of his moustache as he entered. I don't believe so. President Wellen wiped Rosetta off his crumbs off his moustache as he entered. What a delicious tart you people have invented. Now, imagine what the crust made of our strudel pastry. But first things first, let's have a look at that treaty. I hate that. Memento handed him the annotated graft, and he flipped through it eagerly. As he reached the end, his eyebrows narrowed. I see. I was not aware that the King of Rizia took me for a simpleton. Where do we think we should lead this fine gentlemen and ladies and whatnot? Ending that the finest lady of all. She's a cute cat. 3. Sorry, we're like gentlemen, Mr. Mullet, let's not lash out. Neither will making a mockery of my fine proposal. You're not even agreeing to send us gold, the commodity we need the most. You're content to watch us suffer alone in our fight against the Bluish Freedom Front. To me, your unwillingness to cooperate shows that you cannot be trusted to resume governance of Zeal. So just want to remind you that we're committed to getting Zeal back by any means necessary. That feels solid. This was rigged from the start. There was nothing that would have satisfied you, was there? Wait, am I not entirely inflexible? Sure, there's still a way to find common ground. Can I apologise? We can offer more. I'm entirely inflexible. Sure, there's still a way we can find common ground. All is not lost, Your Majesty. There's one further condition which my ministers include me not to include in the agreement. If you do this for me, in addition to meeting the conditions you already agreed on, I can envision allowing Zeal to hand over to proceed. What's this favour and why did Rizia not abide to agree to it? You have my attention, please go on. 3 or 2, would you say? 3? You have my attention, please go on. Yeah, it's not like one, so not. It's very sensitive, Your Majesty. You see, like the Bluish Freedom Front, your Suzerain organisation has many different heads. There's one that stands for all others. Ricardus Taurus. No, Rico! Oh, wait. Rico's the son, isn't it? Oh, it's not Hugo. I don't care about this guy. Deal with him, and we can restart this conversation. I'm afraid I understand Duke Taurus has committed no crime. So while it fixes both a hawk-like stare, we expect his involvement in the Seal incident. Meanwhile, he has shown nothing but contempt for the Wessex living under his jurisdiction. Yeah, sorry, I thought it was his dad. I was like, no. A country that allows a man like that to remain in power is not a country where more people will be safe. So from you, I can't just go from, give me a chance and I will rein him in. Not sure I'm confused. Rizia. Ooh. What are we thinking, gentlemen? He's also rude to our daughter, so unfortunate. But I don't want to upset Hugo either, but I'm trying to think of a nice middle ground to deal with this guy. Unless we have our good golden guardman lie, which neither does the majority of Rizia. You've had every chance to stop him, Your Majesty. It is not enough simply to not support him. He must be stripped of his power. Real. Is it my wish that he be arrested and extradited to Welland, where he will learn the true meaning of justice? Ooh. I'd like to get him out of the way as well, but we need to be strategic about it. Arresting him will break the rage of the rest of his organisations. Be worse off than before. Rico is a noble like most powerful from the most powerful family in Rizia. He cannot be treated like a common criminal. Rico is my blood kin. I'll not throw him to the wolves. 1. As well, we need to be strategic about it. Mary looked at me askance. Mr. Smollett, I understand your concerns about Duke Taurus, but to turn him over to your country would require a trial and a conviction, followed by lengthy legal proceedings. That would be your problem to solve, Mr. Squibble, not mine. Go for the rest of whoever I want, on whatever grounds. Against this organisation, there's a chance something will turn up. Ooh, 2? Are you sure there's nothing else Rizia can offer you before turning my cousin makes me uneasy? 2? Yeah, I thought it would be 2. Even if evidence against Duke Taurus were revealed, we would need to proceed with extreme caution. Your Grand Vizier will try to prop this with all his might. I must be leaving soon, King Romus. Will you cooperate with this quest or not? So negotiating is here. I'll find a way to get you Rico, just as I will meet your other conditions. Rico sucks, he's mega racist and manages Isa, which already wants to kill him. I need to get rid of him. I'll find a way to get you Rico, just as I will meet your other conditions. So Alex stared at me imperiously for a few seconds, then broke into a wide smile. Fantastic, Your Majesty. I knew you would come through in the end. We'll leave your cousin out of the official treaty, of course. It's just between us. I wish I had time to celebrate, but war eclipse awaits. The next time you visit us, we'll smoke quiche together. You'll discover what you're missing out on. Sounds like a plan, Mr. President. Least I can, however, I do look forward to our next meeting. Thank you, but professional. Sounds like a plan, Mr. President. 1? We happy with 1? If he hates you before, he will accept if you promise Rico. Yeah, I don't when you said that one. That 3. And the funny thing is you don't even have to give him. Oh, really? Ooh. That's my... Sounds like a plan, Mr. President. Lent arose from his seat. An aide will show you out while we finish up here, Mr. Swallow. Thanks again for your time. Thank you, Mr. Scribble, and you, of course, King Romus. We'll speak soon. Shake his hand. I stood up and extended my hand. He grasped it in both of his and shook it vigorously. Until next time, Your Majesty. We accompanied Smart to the door of the suite. He bowed one last time as an aide ushered him down the halls towards the exit. Lorna and I looked at each other for a long couple of moments. We've quite a task before us, don't we? I'm confident we'll rise to the challenge. But there's always plan B. Our operation run begins. The bastard has right where he wants us, but I see no authority, confidence, and your assistance are both appreciated. And the epic trade deal is still in place, as the Rico deal is not part of it. Yes! Oh, great point, Lord. Oh my god, yeah, we've kept it out of the actual agreement, so you can give one literally nothing, you get everything. Zeal, all of the resources. Ooh. Competence and assistance are both most appreciated. I'm only doing my royal duty. Moreno gathered up the documents that were scattered across the table. Together, we left the suite. So Zeal back? Or does it come back later? Have 15 authority, domineering achievement. Okay. Now let's read it. Working rights extended to Wessex. Rizia Wellin signed preliminary deal with Zeal return. Arcadia's economy growth slows to 5%. Wellin announces support for Rizia's Aureus claim. Zeal handover officially postponed. Rumberg affirms alliance with Rizia, expresses support in AN case. ATO voices concerns over Gasfield blockade. In 3 years. Okay, that's a long time. If you don't give Rico... There is a referendum, though. You can easily win it. Okay. So, situations, work rights, policies, amendments, growing pro-Rizian armed resistance, growing pro-Rizian movement. Oh, wow. Wow. All the money, all the power. What does this actually mean for us, by the way? Does this mean... I see our power's gone up. Has anything else gone up? No. So it's just like power. Yeah, Welland oil imports. So we're getting 2 power from Welland. Nice. Ooh. That's... Zero resistance funding. Funding ATA cultural guarantees referendum. Okay. Read the report. Thaddeus Lazaro discharged from hospital! General Lazaro is returned home after spending an extended period in hospital due to a stroke. The family patriarch is still suffering from convulsions. We're now focused on recovering father at the Lazaro Palace in Montacla. Oh, we're gonna meet our new father-in-law. Zero resistance funding. There's an option to fund resistance movements in Zeal region. This could help increase pressure on the Wessex government to return Zeal to Rizia. This could also destabilize the area, further justifying Wallen's decision to hold it onto national security. No. Oh, Aros Taurus Association. ATA 1. Yeah? That's worth it? Funding ATA culture guarantees referendum. So, yeah, ATA 1. Done. What's Welland saying? Welland's friendly, they're strong, 17 million. Well, it's actually... I wonder what the population of Rizia is. News. Anton Rain's presidency saw London... Ah! We're president! Hey! Anton Rain! Sordland welcomes Anton Rain as the new president, ushering in an era of anticipated transformation of his economic trains. Rain's swift political climb is an emblematic... blah, 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 blah. The President Rain! Hey! Some crackdowns. Oh my god. We're the president! Oh my god. Yeah, like I said, 3 games of blame left. So do we not get Zeal back right until the end then? Gathering of the MIT's board member states. Ooh. Sounds interesting. The thrum of helicopter blades was almost deafening as we prepared for our descent into the Malpine International Trade Zone. I looked out the window. Means you missed the last year of Rain's presidency. That's fair. I looked out the window. We were above the Malpine Basin, an extensive dried up lake containing millions of years worth of sedimentary deposits. The past decades of industry activity had turned it into a mosaic of underground and open pit mines linked to roads and railways and makeshift canals. Smoke rose from the surrounding refineries, turning the sky musty shade of orange. I suppose it will only be taken back at the end. Okay. My eyes followed a cargo-laden freight train as it departed the Mephtime station. Next to me in the helicopter, Elena noticed it as well. One of Lespia's, by the looks of it. The gold will be shipped out of the Moadian port and reach Vino Robin by this evening. After all, there are only 2 major events there. And from there, straight into Prime Minister Alvaro's pocket. The weapons on international purchase of the gold imports. Tell me how that squares up. Yeah, I'd say you're right, Your Majesty. Lesbian economic theory does favour domestic production over foreign imports. Oh, of course, drink water. And just to say again, though, a massive thank you for you all being here, you legends. They make an exception for resources like gold and gas, especially when lesbian companies have a hand in their extraction. I recall you took a rather pro-Morella stance at the Alliance Nation session. Are you still leaning in that direction? Of course, somebody gives them Rizia waffling. Yes, the trade zone is on Morellan land, so naturally Morella would have a great say in the operations. One does respect Morella's wishes. We can't ignore the myths of great economic kingdom. No. We can't afford to lose any more of gold. This is a funny event, really. Oh, I'd love to screw over Lespia. Perhaps so, actually. Come on, my iPod is going to die. I have to go. Bye. See you, Honor. You have a good one, my friend. Thank you so much for being here for the stream. If you want to go back and see more, I'll upload this to YouTube directly later, buddy. You have a good one. Thank you for being around. Perhaps so, Your Majesty. At the same time, we cannot simply hand over our assets to Morella without suffering serious economic consequences. We gently touched down on the helipad of the Cooperation Centre, there, the building where its board meetings and other diplomatic functions were held. We were immediately met by a large security retinue and ushered inside to the reception hall where the welcome ceremony was to take place. Alma Sultana greeted us by the entrance. A security staff member showed Elena to her seat, while I followed the Morellan Prime Minister to the front of the hall. Thank you for coming, Mr. Taurus. Just as Your Majesty, Madam Prime Minister, of course, Comrade Sultana. You two will watch the YouTube video to catch your story. Ah, thank you so much, Honor Bud. You have a good one. Mr. Sultana, pleasure to meet you again. Bye. Just me to mention Madam Prime Minister. Of course, Comrade Sultana. That's a bit cringe. Mr. Sultana, pleasure to see you again. And you. I hope you've been well since our encounter at the AN. I was glad to hear when you were able to reach an understanding with Welland. It gives me hope for today's talks. I don't understand Welland isn't holding our land hostage. We haven't solidified an agreement yet. In fact, it would be very helpful to have the international community on our side right now. If you're as open to negotiating as a Moloch, I don't see a problem. Ooh, I don't want to be rude to her. I want to make her friend, right? We want her, and more importantly, we want this. Agreement. So I don't see a problem. I assure you that I am. She gestured for me to follow her. I'd like to start straight away, but my advisors have persuaded me that diplomatic protocol must be followed. Stage had been set up backdrop by our country's 4 flags. Patricia Alvarez was already sitting there, looking somewhat bored. Which one's Patricia Alvarez? Lespia. I took my place next to him. He didn't acknowledge me. Good afternoon, Mr. Prime Minister. How was your ride here? Don't say anything. Ooh, we can be quite cold, can't we? Should we go down the don't say anything? I think we will ignore him. I didn't acknowledge him either. I noticed a certain bleariness in his eyes. I wonder whether his decision to quit drinking had lasted. The hall began to fill up with dignitaries, ministers, and heads of corporations. Rusty Montoro was in the back row, talking animatedly to lesbian politicians. He didn't so much as glance in my direction. The doors of the hall suddenly swung open. Emmerich Hegel entered, accompanied by a pair of bodyguards. He and Prime Minister Sultana exchanged cheek kisses. Alvarez could barely disguise the look of scorn. They're not your friends, you know. They're out to bleed both of us dry. Don't worry, I won't let them. Have you ever considered that we might deserve it? I have faith that we can give Morello its due without our economies coming to ruin. Sultana and Hegel joined us on the stage. The Vagslandian Chancellor shook my hand with an encouraging smile. Yes! Yes! He likes us! What are you smiling about, Chancellor? Good to see you, Chancellor. Actually, I was hoping we could speak in private later. That very much depends, Mr. Taurus. Before it was posed for photographs, the Morella national anthem was played, then those of Vagsland, Rizia, and finally Lespia. That shows who takes the what priority, doesn't it? It's just a ceremony, Mr. Alvarez. Don't read too much into it. When the music died down, we were escorted to a conference room together with our key ministers, security detail, and a number of legal advisors. Once we were seated, Prime Minister Sultana spoke. Thank you for carving time out of your schedules to join me today, gentlemen. He looked around the table at each of us. Over 35 years ago, our country signed an agreement regarding the sharing of resources in the Meftime Basin. At that time, Morella was capable neither of exploring the full potentials of the gold located here, nor of fending off raids from our dirty neighbours. It was only with the cooperation of Rizia, Vagsland, and Lespia that the international trade zone could become the thriving industrial centre it is today. However, our predecessors failed to recognise the social and moral responsibility that comes with such an economic endeavour, and Morella paid the price. It's high time for us to visit the original agreement, to differ the Sultana, whether at home or abroad, King of Rizia and commit to responsible mining practices. If the myths are truly such a negative impact to Morella, why does no other leader before you brought this up? Stay silent. Ooh, do we just stay quiet? Or do we just back her and be like, it's high time for us to revisit the original agreement? I am good with... I'm thinking number 1, to be honest. But I know in this game, staying silent generally is a really good call. It's digging so much in my ear, by the way. It actually hurts. It's time for us to revisit the original agreement. I'm afraid my government will not be satisfied with cosmetic adjustments to the MIT's cost track. All of us, Morella included, have benefited from the contracts that allowed us to pay its workers less and then grant them fewer protections. That is our individual home. That in our individual countries. At the same time, the area around the trade zone has been turned into a dumping ground for toxic chemicals, to the detriment of our water systems and the people who depend on them. It's the only way forward. The MITs must be restored to Morella overship. Alvarez audibly scoffed. This is actually what you believe, Miss Sultana, or are you just parroting the words of Chancellor Hegel? I would have phrased it to, please calm down, Mr. Alvarez. You may disagree with Morella, the Prime Minister, but that doesn't give you an excuse to belittle her. Ooh. You're right, of course, but my question still stands. Current cooperation between Morella and Vagsland is based on mutual respect. There is no string pulling. Mutual respect should impact. Yeah. Regard. Yes, Mr. Alvarez, every international relationship isn't as one-sided as that between us. Mutual respect should impact the shared objective of the trade zone. Every nation here should be treated equals. Bridge, my friend, how are you? You're in gold because you're the #1 Clipper. Great to have you in, buddy. How are you? Hello to my top mod, my only mod, but my top mod. No, technically I think I made a second one. I think I made Ella a mod. Which shall always be #1 in my heart. Good bridge, best bod you have, literally. Right. Yes, Miss Alvarez, must be a mutual respect should impact the shared objectives of trade that every nation here should be treated with equal regard. Nations Rizia and Lespia are willing to listen to my wishes. I have every intention of returning the favour. I do love this kind of competition. No competition, literally. That's exactly how I feel about this game as well. Chancellor Hegel and I have begun work on a proposal to transfer ownership of the MITs to Morellan state. The assets currently owned by Vagsland, Rizia, and Lespia would be purchased by a new Morellan-owned company, formed specifically for the governments of the MITs. Each country would have the opportunity to buy shares in that company. The Republic of Vagsland and Rizia agreed to forego that opportunity. Sultana nodded. Should Rizia and Lespia choose to buy shares, they could still continue operations in some capacity, albeit under strict oversight and with more input from workers. That's like fair deal. You must understand that I have Rizia's own interest to think about. I'm able to agree because I have to know our economy will remain stable. If this oversight you want, our companies can implement a more effective influence of the government. I mean, I'm siding with them, right? That sounds like a fair enough deal. It certainly is not fair, Madam Prime Minister, is ignoring the massive investments the country has poured into the MITs over the past decades. Morella wouldn't have been able to make a dent in the ground without Lespian technology. Now you want to cast us off like last season's furs. Morella recognises and appreciates your contributions to the MITs, which is why your input will be solicited should we vote to proceed with nationalisation. If we vote not to proceed, what then? Then we'll have to go back to the drawing board. In the case of a split decision, we'd have to go to renegotiate the initial ITS agreement until a way forward is found. Morella will no longer accept the status quo, nor will Vagsland. While Lespia stands firm in our conviction that the ownership of the MITs should not change, His Majesty knows what's good for his kingdom. He'll agree with me. Every seat at the table turned to look at me. Elena cleared her throat. Are you ready for the vote, Your Majesty? Indigo! Haven't seen you for a few days, bud. How are you doing? How are you doing? Sorry for not replying to you during the cooking stream the other night. My chat wasn't working at all. It was only when I got a call from one of you guys that, from... Why am I forgetting his name? What's his name? Why have I forgotten the names of, like, literally some of my first followers? Oh my god, I spoke to that many people. Psychon! It's when Psychon called me that I know, so don't think I was ignoring you, bud, so sorry about that. Right. We'll continue the board. Actually, Miss Warner, I'd like to confer with you privately before making a decision. From a little walk. Oh, nice. I hope it was a nice walk, buddy. How warm is it with you guys? Is it actually warm or not? Indigo, is it warm for you? Bridge, is it warm for you, my friend? Yes, I know what my decision is. Good. Then let's proceed. Sultana motioned to her secretary to take notes. We'll use an open voting procedure, going clockwise around the table. The Roman Morello casts its vote in favour of nationalisation. The Republic of Vagsland casts its vote for nationalisation as well. 8 degrees. The Prime Minister of Lespia, being of sound mind, cast his vote against nationalisation. It's my turn. Prime Minister Sultana leaned forward eagerly with Alvarez eyeing wittingly. As the King of Rizia, I vote in favour of nationalisation. The international trade zone should be under ownership. I vote against nationalisation. The international trade zone should not be nationalised furthermore. I do not believe our resource and profit shares agreement. So we're agreeing with them, right? So as the King of Rizia, I vote in favour of nationalisation. They put in loads of money. Eagle applauded solemnly. A wise choice, Mr. Taurus. History will reward you for it. I am as surprised as I am grateful, Mr. Taurus. I look forward to collaborating with you on a fair proposal. I turned to look at Alvarez. He had an artificial smile on his face. I know when I've been defeated, you can count on my cooperation. I'm absolutely brimming with suggestions. I'm sure you are. Sultana rose from her seat energetically. I would inform our guests of the good news. Let's get back to the reception hall. The Rizian, Vagslandian, and Lespian delegations slowly began filing out of the conference room. Next to me, Helena spoke under her breath. A brave choice, Your Majesty. We'll have to drive a hard bargain with Morello or risk disrupting gold production. It isn't about gold production, it's about doing what's right. The important thing is that we get to screw over Lespia. I know, but I truly think this will be better for us in the long run. We get to screw over Lespia! Woohoo! Woohoo! That's funny, I like that. Yes, entire 8 degrees. It's kind of nice though, very cozy. I guess in a place where it's normally quite cold, I guess 8 degrees is better than 0, right? Right, I know, but I truly think this will be better for us in the long run. You're the king. I trust your instinct. As Alvarez and I stood up, I saw him take another sip from his flask. He noticed my gaze and nodded slightly. So he sided with the commies in the end. The outnumbered Prime Minister, surprised, made my intention clear. Ooh, you're outnumbered, Prime Minister. It is still t-shirts and short weather. Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's... I dread to think what's not t-shirts and short weather where you're from. To be fair, it is though. It is. And I'm in shorts pretty much year round. Internally, anyway. I never wear shorts outside. He surprised me. My intention is clear. Do you have a problem with it? First your naval shenanigans with Pales, now this. You're really starting to test my resolve, King Taurus. Step past me and out the door. Eagle was still seated. I can feel his eyes boring into me. Smile at him. He gave me the same mysterious smile as he had before. We walked back onto the stage of the reception hall and awaited Prime Minister Sultana's announcement. As it gets screwed over. It will. Yeah, take it out. I'm surprised we didn't have a chance to speak to him though. That's annoying. Maybe I should have taken that ending differently. And you want to say something? Crown Shield's gold stores will remain stable despite MIT's nationalisation. Survey shows lack of stable housing effect birth rate. The rise of the second wave totalist Marxism in Xena admits to be nationalised despite Lespian opposition. Slaves, read the report. Slaves anti-monarchy protests. Substantial rallies occurred in slaves with protests calling for a new decentralised constitution agreement. They're focused on achieving self-governance as slogans and banners. Shoot them! I read the report. New report highlights poor state of Rizian transit infrastructure. Rico! What are you doing over there? We know this is Rico. Because it's him, it's his region. Bad at monitoring it. Being on internal security. The weather in the UK, it's not super hot. How hot is it now? Like, it's got better because I'm not sweating in this as badly as I was when the stream started. I don't know why in my head. It's 11 degrees now. Yeah, it's getting colder at night. But it hit like 20 degrees. It hit 28 the other day, which is quite hot for us. Due to election funding. And then what is this? ROC requests election campaign fundings. Rizian National Coalition leader Daria Di Rava. Hello, Daria. Seeks financial backing from the Crown to secure the Royalist Party position against the opposition party. A decision on funding could sway the election outcome, shaping the political future of our kingdom. As the House of Delegates election campaign 1954 begins, our RNC promises to support the monarchy. Literally, 28 is terrible. It hurt me. Election funding, zero funding, waste of money. Elections are rigged anyway, and Parliament has nothing to say. So, no funding? So don't fund? Zero. You sure? I don't mind giving them one. Be like, hey guys. Because she was nice to us. She's quite loyal. Zero. Fair. I'll take your word. The monarchy stays neutral in electoral funding. Oh yeah, I guess we stay neutral, right? Meeting on internal security. Hugo, Lucita, and Titus rose to their feet the moment I stepped into the council chambers. My return journey from Morella had just concluded, and within hours of being back on Rizian soil, I was called for an internal security meeting. Good evening, Your Majesty. I hope you're not too tired from your trip. The question is simply why waste money on it. That's fair enough. Yes, thanks for coming on such short notice. I know you have many other pressing appointments. That's important to me, and I like to unwind with a glass of Swedish whiskey. Nonsense, nothing's more pressing than Rizia's security. Agreed, Your Majesty. 100%. I sat in my designated seat at the head of the table. Hugo, Lucia, and Titus took their respective seats. Aides placed folders full of information in front of each of us, and glasses of water were poured. Here, temp dropped from 29 to 15. Eee, that's rough. That's very rough. What's the temperature like for everyone else? Say bridge for you if you're here, my friend. What's the temperature like over in Italy, my friend? Your Majesty, the main reason we've called you here is that there's been a breakthrough in the Friendship Day bombing investigation. I detected reluctance in his eyes as he signalled for Titus to proceed. Indeed, Your Majesty. On a careful examination, I've discovered that there is indeed evidence linking Suamina to the incident. That's 12. Well, is night. It's dropped quite significantly at night, right? Like, oh, straight cold. However, their involvement is quite different from what I believe any of us were expecting. Who of us certainly has a habit for an unexpected twist on the way. Most certainly. As I was saying, one of the Suamina members my team was surveilling is employed at a fertilizer plant just outside of Isa, Terragro Agrochem. 24 degrees in the kitchen. It's 11 p.m. Oh, good luck to you, sir. Good luck to you, Bridge. You are now a puddle. I'm so sorry. Oh, thanks to heavy rain since Friday. It did rain yesterday, so it did drop significantly since then. We managed to obtain samples of certain materials produced by this plant. Further examination revealed an exact match with the residue found at the bombing site. That is Titus. While Sumina may be permanently against one's opposition zeal, they would never resort to terrorism. So this is a direct link to Sumina. Nod and continue listening. Interested in what would company employee have been Liza. Nod and continue listening. Of course, further investigation is needed in order to establish a definitive link between the Zeal bombing and the organisation's factory employee in question. There's one crucial piece of the puzzle that you have not yet mentioned, Captain Gordian. Titus smiled thinly, his irritation evident. I was just about to bring that up, Duchess Azara. Despite being located in Rizia, the fertilizer plant is, in fact, state-owned by Pales. However, the likelihood of Sumina acting independently, unrelated to Pales, seems more likely. I think the Pales was behind it all along. Pales? Are you sure? I'm sure that the plant is owned by Pales. As for their involvement with the bombing, I can't say for certain. Well, what we can be certain about is that this may warrant a closer investigation into activities in the region. I maintain my belief. Yes, I did. I believe so. I've no doubt. I 100% did. Yeah. I maintain my belief that the explosion was set up to frame Sumina and the Rizian nationalist movement. However, I'm not convinced that the Pelesian government was involved either. Tell me, Justice Azara, what would Pels have to gain from masterminding the Friendship Day incident? Also, one with a larger strategy such as sales of dominant power in the region. The legions were responsible for this have something to do with Reese Gasfield. Well, Duchess, what do you think? It does lead to the question, doesn't it? So if they get involved, obviously, I think it mainly pulls them away from us. Due to legion responsible for something to do with Reese Gasfield. To me, that's the most likely possibility. The attack coming in the middle of the preliminary exploration for the Oris Gasfield was no coincidence. So in discord between Rizia and Welland might have been a way to create enough destabilization that we'd be entering negotiations from a place of vulnerability. I was going to say, it'd be like, what? What's going on over there? Sorry, we got to go focus on this now. It worked. We agreed to let the AN handle the issue instead of taking what was ours. It didn't work. We refused to see the gas field without a fight. Okay, motives established. Still enough. Didn't work. Refused to see the gas field without a fight. Covering conclusive proof that Pels planned the Friendship Day attack would surely help us win the arbitration case. Titus cleared his throat impatiently. I will not completely dismiss the validity of Duchess Azara's argument, but I personally don't believe a further investigation to collision connection is warranted. With respect, Captain, I trust my Security Council assessment situation is likely warranted assassination. Move. You're allowed to say it, Captain Goldie, and my Security Council is talking nonsense. I guess you're much more clear cut to me. Sorry, which one I take now? Important. My hands go up. Which one would you believe, sir? Good. You're allowed to say it, Captain my Security Council is talking nonsense. I wouldn't say that since I'm trying to Rizza. Yes, the case against Sumina appears to be much more clear cut to me. What's the thoughts, Lord? How should we lead this? As you go to war, investigate Pales. Fair. It's exactly as warranted as a further investigation to Sumina. Establish motives both. You're right, Your Majesty. Given the importance of keeping the peace with Pales, I think determining their government guilt or innocence should be a top priority. No. Avoid spoiler for now, but lead me in the right direction. My advisors. I don't think Jace is here anymore, so yeah, you're like the sole one who's played the game. Obviously, I take advice from everyone, but obviously with Lord being quite experienced, it's quite good. I agree with the Duchess, if even the slightest possibility Pels maybe have engineered this, we need to get to the bottom of it. Hugo glanced at his notes. Either way, we will have to channel more resources into this investigation in order for it to continue. In order to make the best use of those resources, we should choose our focus. Unlike Hugo, I believe Sumina's involvement can't be ignored. To dive deeper into the operation. I think both options have their merits, but I'm inclined to investigate Pales. What's more, I could easily allocate this task to intelligence forces already stationed there, and we wouldn't have to spend an extra cent. She looked over at Titus. Of course, it would mean that the case against would once again fall under jurisdiction of Rizia's security department, not your extra legal operatives. And you know what? Spoilers fine, we're going to be doing it soon, but it's more so the spoiler will appear on stream, so I'm worried for people who might be watching this as a first Rizia playthrough might get spoiled. A wise and frugal suggestion, Duchess Suzerain. My mind is what we're going to do. What kind of repercussion reads spared? Can I just go straight to the ending, or do I need to... Neither of them. Ooh, I bet it was me. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Made up my mind is what we're going to do. Hugo, Lucia, and Tice all look to me in anticipation of my decision. Some that reluctant to investigate Suzerain uncle, but I must propose investigating them. I agree with Duchess Cesaro. The Golden Guard will receive further funding and continue their investigation of Pales. Yamina, authority. I'll take authority. By the order of the king, Captain Gordian shall continue his investigation of Yamina. Authority of the crown. I hereby dispatch these Golden Guards to investigate Duchess Ron bombing. We'll put a stop to the investigation. I believe it will be more advantageous for us in the long run. Duchess Zara, I want you to impose operations on this case. It falls under jurisdiction now. Which option do you think is the best, my friend, for us trying to rizz up this one? Future wife. Or as Jace once said, muscle mommy, if you will. Oh, what's the best option here? While we decide, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to rizz her up. Okay. Give me 1 second before we make a decision. I'm going to quickly run. I said muscle mommy. We all said it. I'm just going to quickly run to the toilet, and I'll be back in just 1 minute. All the water. Turns out 2 glasses of water is a lot of water. One. Oh, look at this. Gee, let's sleep on some cushions. Oh, why do we just do this? Oh, sit. She is the loyalist little cat I've ever seen. Come on, take a shitty little girl. Oh, Shawi. Oh, Shawi, little kitty girl. No. Oh, what a cute cat. I'm sorry, how can you ignore this? Look how cute she is. Aww. I'm sorry, I have to wait. Oh, she's done. Good. King is back. People's upstairs is perfect. Right. What option are we picking, my friends? I will. Do we need to budget it now? 6? 6 such as are. I want your Pels operatives on the case. This falls under your jurisdiction now. Sure. I follow your lead there. Your choice. Fair enough. He saluted forcefully. Understood, Your Majesty. Captain Gordian, I expect all the relevant documents on my desk by tomorrow morning. Yes, ma'am. That's fair. You go shuffle some papers around. Now that that's settled, I believe there are some number of other less urgent security issues up for discussion. They are indeed. Where would you like to start, Your Majesty? Let's discuss the threats from within the populace. Is unrest a problem at the moment? Switch up some news from regarding Isa. What's happened with our border security? Let's discuss threats from within. Oh, I forgot to run an ad there. It would have been a great ad. Whoops. Discuss threats from within the populace. Is unrest a problem at the moment? So, Your Majesty, it does appear the citizens in various parts of the kingdom have gone voicing complaints against the royal government. So far, the press have been isolated incidents, but we're worried that they signify a broader discontent and dissatisfaction has been festering among the populace. Even though increase, the content presents an opportunity for transformation. This moment allows us to comprehend the concerns of our people. Let them grumble, we have a kingdom to run, and these protests are significant in the grand scheme of things. Let me judge of that. Tell me what the character of these protests. Overall, it's a multifaceted issue. Autonomy, political power, economic equality, equity. Not intertwined these protests specifically, the human rights situation in Rizia is apparently concerning to some. The welfare protesters are claiming that the Crown has yet to address their demand for increased health and education funding. What? We built the university and the hospital. They're mad. Isn't that right, Dingy? These protesters were taken for granted the stability and security we provide. They are indeed. We're earning good money-ish. I mean, not great money, but okay. Energy will go up soon. These protesters were taken for granted the stability and security we provide. When it rains, it suddenly pours, doesn't it? We need to do a better job addressing their concerns. We have been working on these issues. Progress has been made. Unfortunately, that's not how the Crown's policies are being perceived. At the very least, I'm happy to say there are no signs of anti-monarchist turmoil within our noble houses. Thank God. If noble houses begin backing irate commoners, it will be 1926 all over again. As to the nature of this unrest, I'm still gathering information on the ground. I don't have specific examples at this time. Escalation does require a strategic approach, open to dialogue and compromise. Rushing into action might do more harm than good. Nevertheless, let's continue monitoring the situation. Situations are very complex. We'll work to find a solution if it means adjusting our state policies and diverse demands. Reconciling the device, demands, and concerns of this our kingdom might be in order. Escalation does require a strategic approach, dialogue and compromise. Actually, that'll be briefing today. Joined. Wait, what's happening on our border security? There isn't much to report, but it's worth mentioning that there's been a surge of bluish migrants attempting to cross the Gulf of Mordia. Taking advantage of Rizia's open borders, perhaps we should have to agree on Mr. Smollett's modest bluish ban after all. Why now? Does it relate to Wallen's anti-bluish campaign? No particular reason we can attribute to this increase. My heart goes out to them, but given our limited resources, I'm hesitant to welcome these migrants with open arms. The bluish migrants in a constant source of frustration. What's a particular reason we can attribute to this increase? All signs point to Wellen. While we haven't observed a significant push, we're aware that they're conducting covert operations to suppress bluish communities within their borders. Nicholas that increase in migration coincides with my decision not to assist Wellen's campaign of oppression. Can't say for sure, but it's certainly something to consider. Speaking of which, just this morning, one of our patrol vessels intercepted an overcrowded bluish migrant ship crossing the Gulf. They were lucky we did. Our investigation team determined they would have stayed out any longer, the ship would have been at risk of sinking. The 500 plus asylum seekers are currently being processed at one of our migrant facilities. Great mouse speed, it's operated to think that those who never made it to safety. Thanks for the update, it's good to know their interception time. It's operated to think of those who never made it to safety. All the more reason to improve the situation for all migrants. Having covered that, I believe that I've touched upon all the key aspects of this issue. Especially with some news regarding Isa. Naturally, the situation in Isa remains fraught with challenges. You've done much to win the support of the Wezek and Durdian population. Fortunately, that has done little to curb tensions. In fact, it's emboldened migrants to openly defy the police. My son has been overwhelmed trying to restore order. His men are stretched to their limit. They see us strained in our seat, seemingly eager to intervene. Unfortunately, Your Grace, I believe your son is part of the problem. While Captain Gordian's investigation has hampered Suamina's activities, Duke Ricardus has basically been using the municipal police as a replacement. We've seen increased violence, and there have been reports of clashes in the streets. I'm capable of handling the situation. Zara's interesting. Tolerant Hawks. Well, it appears that my cousin is incapable of handling the situation. Still, funny advice they say I refrained from deploying Central Police Isa. It seems the decision has backfired. I knew it was a mistake not striking police here. I'm sure the situation is as critical as it seems. 1 or 4. What's your thoughts on this, Lord? Will not matter. And just to say, I hope everyone's having an amazing night and really appreciate you all being here. I know this might not be the most interesting stream to some, but I'm really enjoying this game. Won't be having a super long session tonight, probably be wrapping up within the next sort of like 30 minutes, but we'll be on at this again tomorrow after I do some work. Okay? And I'm on holiday, but some bits I need to do. I want to edit up some stuff and the like, so I will not be around in the morning, but I will be around in the evening again. Have a nice Sunday stream. Hopefully you haven't got too long of this left. If you're around, Lord, after, I wouldn't mind asking you a few questions in VC. It is getting quite late. That's what I was thinking. I think I might wrap up this one even and just call it there. But cool. Right, we can do that. Cool. Perfect. This situation will be a proportion of social as occurs as it seems. As far as I control, agreed, something must be done fast. Mutual police and Renus have offered their cooperation. Their attitudes, let's see, can I recover it? If I haven't clicked one, can I recover it? Their attitudes towards the foreigners is certainly in line with the Crown's, although I'm concerned that legitimate crimes committed by migrants slip through the cracks. You're fine, okay. However, Rico, chance we shouldn't rely on them. Seems the situation manager calls for intervention from the Crown. The meeting there matters, okay. It seems the situation manager calls for intervention from the Crown because hotline stands the working perhaps the process called for. Intervention from the Crown. My thoughts exactly. I believe we should honour the Duke's request for reinforcements from the Central Police without placing them under his direct jurisdiction. Hugo fixed her with a stare. Whose jurisdiction should be under? Yours, I suppose? Well, yes. Allow my department to take over law enforcement will leave the Duke free to focus on his governing duties. How effectively can he govern after we've undermined his authority? I like the idea of perhaps it's time to grown up took the reins. When you think you'll succeed where he failed, don't get greedy, Duchess. I've already given you a lot. How effectively can he govern after we've undermined his authority? I don't want to insult. The big one I don't want to insult is Hugo. I respect Hugo. How can he govern after we've undermined his authority? Yes, precisely. If the Crown does not place confidence in Rico's leadership, it will easily for this subject. Central Police will need to quell the unrest, but should cooperate independently from local authorities. Therefore, place on Lucia's command. It's evident that Central Police are needed to quell the unrest, so I put them on Liza and place them on Rico's command. Never. I firmly believe no police presence needed. I'm going to send them, but I'll put them under Lucita's command. Instead of trying to maintain order in Liza, denying him this power. Thank you for your confidence, Your Majesty. Rest assured their allegiance will be to the Crown, not any faction. Well, there's nothing left to discuss. Let's adjourn. Hugo rose from his seat and stretched his arm back. His arms went just in time. My joints were starting to stiffen. After saying their goodbyes, Hugo and Lucia took their leave. I checked my watch. We concluded the briefing in a timely manner. The weight of our internal security discussion still lingered in the air as I stood alone in the room. With a somber nod to the vacant chairs, I departed, ready to face the responsibilities that lay beyond the meeting room. Let's look at the news. Royal Herald officially endorses Rizia National Coalition in provincial elections. Tragedy strikes as migrant ship capsizes in Gulf of Moldia. Oh. Let's see. Is that? The rise of second wave. Oh, but there's no new news. Only one that's saying two. Interesting. Unless I missed one from earlier. Scrolling. My finger. Ow. Ah, Miss Rumbo coming south. Missed that one earlier. Right. Report. RPP turns eyes into sea of yellow. ONC kicks off election campaign. What's the... Maybe not the palace. Ooh. Should we do this or save this for the next session, Lord? I think so. You know what? I'll call it here. I'm going to save this for next session. It's getting really late now. But thank you all for being here. You absolute legends. We will get on with this tomorrow and bring this game basically to an end. So really excited to be on this final journey now. But thank you all so much for joining me on this series. Suzerain is literally my most popular series on YouTube. So thank you all so much for making this possible. You know, you are absolutely amazing. Thank you for those on stream who watch me live, and thank you for all of you who watch on YouTube. Again, this wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you so much. Hopefully you'll be around to see me dress up in these silly outfits more often. Good night, my friends, and I will see you soon on YouTube. If you've enjoyed it, by the way, sorry I forgot to say this, if you've enjoyed watching on YouTube, a like, a sub, a comment will go a really long way if you're able to. If not, I'll see you in the next part. Thank you so much.